Got sway on your M2 Super C chassis? If so, then stick around for this video.
Tech Time Tuesday.
Today we've got a 2022 M2 Super C, so this is a Dynamax, and we're going to be talking about anti-sway bars for the M2 chassis. So first of all, what is an anti-sway bar? Well, if you're not sure, you can check out a lot of other videos that we've done. Basically, it's a spring that gets twisted when a coach leans one way or the other, and in a little bit we'll take a look under the coach at the front and rear anti-sway bars we've got on the coach, and you'll get a better idea of how that works. Now, on the M2, there's some different variations in terms of anti-sway bars. So from the factory, none of them came with a rear anti-sway bar. And in the front, some of them did come with a front bar and some did not. This particular coach did not. So let's take a look under the coach and see what we have. So we have installed our 1209-153 Roadmaster front sway bar on this coach. So the 1209-153 was actually originally developed for the S2 RV, but it makes a great upgrade for this M2 coach as well. So you can see you've got your leaf spring front suspension here. On an M2 that came from the factory with the front sway bar, you would have brackets that bolt to the frame there and come down with an end link. And we've done some other videos on those as well, showing some potential problems with those end links depending on their design. Again, in this case, we have no bracket on the frame. So the way that we've attached our anti-sway bar to the frame is actually using the spring eye bolts. And then we go back to the axle using the U-bolts there. So this is an 1.75" bar. It's going to be really effective at cutting down that body roll, just making the front of the coach more responsive. Now, I do want to note that there are some other designs of front springs used on the M2 chassis. So like the Renegades, those will have a heavier front axle. Those don't use a bolt for the spring eye. Those actually use like a bar pin with multiple screws on either side, kind of holding the whole thing together. On that, we do not yet have a solution for a front anti-sway bar, but that is in development. But the 1209-153, that's what you need if you have no factory front sway bar and spring eye bolts. Alternatively, if you've got a front sway bar, but it's got problems with the bushings, like we've talked about in other videos, that's the 1209-156. If you have the heavier duty brackets and a factory front sway bar, then the 1209-142 is what you would need. So if you have any questions about all that, I know there's a lot of different variations there, please give us a call, 888-898-3281. We can help you understand what you've got. Now, I do want to take a look at the back of the coach, too. So here in a previous visit, we've installed the 1209-144 Roadmaster rear bar. Now that really makes a big difference on the back of these M2s because, as I said, they do not have any kind of anti-sway bar from the factory. Now this uses the Freightliner airliner suspension, which on the S2 and some the single drive axle Cascadias, you've got like a stiffener plate basically tying one of these kind of half spring trailing arm assemblies to the other side. The S2 also uses a factory anti-sway bar in the back, but the M2, there is nothing tying this side of the suspension to the other. So what does that mean? Well, all you're relying on in the back is your shock absorbers, really to limit that sway and rock and roll, because the airbags themselves, they don't really do anything to dampen out that rocking and rolling. So in this case, we've got our Koni Evo rear shocks. Those are helping out dampen that, as well as our motion control units, our super steer motion control units. You see we've got those installed there in line with the airbags as well. But for really the ultimate in sway control on the back of an M2, it is really nice when you can add that rear anti-sway bar, because it really needs that extra stiffness in the back just with the weight of the coach on top. So that's where our Roadmaster 1209-144 rear sway bar comes in. And this one is a bit more involved of an installation. Basically, you have to drill through the frame. These brackets mount inside of the spring hangers. So a fair amount of drilling involved there, but they do make a nice difference. So if you've got an M2, you're looking for more sway control, please give us a call. Again, 888-898-3281, or contact sales@supersteerparts.com. If you're interested in getting into this installed on your coach, Visit us at Henderson's Lineup here in Grants Pass, Oregon. You can reach our service side, service@hendersonslineup.com, or call 541-479-2882. Please remember to like and subscribe to stay in the loop on content like this. And until next time, we want to wish you safer and happier driving. Thanks.
Tech Time Tuesday.